It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on Habscast.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, not a stellar effort from the Habs tonight, but you know what? You know, I see a few people getting worked up on Twitter. Hey, we're Habs fans. We don't like to ever lose, but 10-2 clinched a spot. You know, they had the one let down game right after they clinched, right? So you're just not quite, you know, the get up and go wasn't quite there for that game. And then last game, what? Slav got his 30th. Caulfield got his 50th. You know, beat Tampa. Maybe a glimpse into the first round matchup. May even still get home ice advantage, even with a loss tonight. So it wasn't, playing a team that had to win or they were officially eliminated. So, I mean, should we really be surprised that they had a letdown? Hey, they're 10-2 in their last 12. Dobie was due for yeah, you know, a mediocre game, I guess we call it. Um, Dobson gets hurt. That doesn't help, right? Gooley already out. Couple of man-to-man breakdown coverages tonight, and voila, they lose to Columbus, who's not really, there's not that really a heated rivalry there with Columbus. So it's just not one that the Canadiens seem to play their best hockey. It's always seems to be a little lackluster when it's Columbus. So add it all up, and hey, they had a loss. I did. Nobody played particularly well tonight, but there were a couple of positives. Cole scored another one, right? 3 Habs in history have scored as many goals as Caulfield this year. And if he pops another one, and I think he will, there'll only be 2 in history that have scored more goals than Caulfield. So that's a positive, right? I'd say it's a hell of a positive. And Susie one step closer to hitting the 100-point mark. So he's one away, right? I think that's. I think he's going to do it. He'll play the last 2 games here, and I can see him. I can see him hitting that mark. Hudson as well got a point, so again he's getting close to 80. He's getting close to. It was an assist, so he's getting close to Robinson's all-time assist mark for the Habs too. So, there's still some achievable things here for the club, and the fact that the Caulfield got a goal, Suzuki got an assist, and Hudson got an assist is good. It means that they're one step closer to hitting those marks. And as I've mentioned before, and I didn't have time to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that just about I would say the majority of Montreal's playoff wins in the past in the past 20 years, or maybe longer, have been ones where they started their playoff series on the road. So it's it's not the end of the world if they don't get home ice advantage. Sure, you'd like to have it, but it's not like it's something that they've taken advantage of in recent times. And I mean, this year their home record is not stellar. In fact, tonight was their 15th home loss. I'm just gonna I'm just going to look this up while I'm thinking of it, but they're in the bottom half of the Eastern Conference as far as home losses, even though they're at the top of the Eastern standings, which, you know, they've got a hell of a road record, but at home, lost 15 at home. No team in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference has 15 home losses. So none of the top 10 teams in the East have 15 losses at home. So except the Canadiens. Now, different story, obviously, on the road. 24-12-5 on the road. So, you know, if they do start the playoffs in Tampa or Buffalo, I don't know that that's a huge disadvantage for them. I mean, go in there and win at least one of the games, right? Take home ice advantage away, come back home, crowd all pumped up, ready to roll for games 3 and 4. So, if they don't end up securing, I mean, they wrapped up. That's the other thing too, right? They wrapped up third place, so it's not like losing meant that they might possibly fall out of the top 3 spot altogether. But you look back, against the Leafs, they didn't have home ice advantage. They won. Against the Golden Knights, they didn't have home ice advantage. Against the Jets, they didn't have home ice advantage. They won against the Penguins. Started on the road, beat them. Right. When they lost to the Rangers in the first round, they had home ice advantage, I do believe, because they were first in the Atlantic, 103 points, and lost. Then in 2014-15, they won the series where they had home ice against Ottawa. But it hasn't been that often that they have won when starting a playoff series at home. Here, Capitals, they beat the Caps. Remember, they had 88 points that year. Capitals won the President's Trophy. Beat them. Same with the Penguins in 2009-10. Started on the road, beat them. So, just about every series here in the past 15, 20 years, when they did win the series, they started on the road. So I'm not going to, I'm not going to get that caught up in whether they get home ice advantage here. Just, it's been a terrific season. The fact that they're top 3 in the East, not many predicted it. I was one of the few. I had them first or second. I can't remember. Second. I had Florida first, which obviously, didn't know about Barkov at the time or whatever, but Florida first and Montreal second in the actually in the Atlantic. So I had them getting 103 points, and right now they have 104, so pretty close. I looked at that young core of players, that group, that it was only going to get better. And that's the great thing about this group too. I can see them being at least 100 points team next year, maybe 110, because the core, that young group that's kind of leading this team, talent-wise, is still only going to be getting better going forward here. So, perhaps the sadder news, from my perspective anyway, was that Michael Hage decided to he's going to be going back to Michigan for another year. I'm not going to say it was the wrong decision, because you're never, you know, going back and getting more schooling. Another, he had such a, he made such progress in the past year, where he was developing his body, improving his stamina, improving his defensive game. All of those things took major leaps over the past year. And one more year of not playing that grind of 100 games that he'd be playing if he turned pro, and not being able to put on maybe that 5 more pounds of muscle that he probably thinks he needs before he's truly ready to step into the NHL and make an impact. Well, playing a 35, 40 game schedule, the great facilities and all that they have in Michigan, so spending more time training than playing will enable him to add that 5 more pounds that he probably thinks that he needs before he's truly ready to be an impactful NHLer. So going back to Michigan, likely not the worst. Well, it's not the worst thing for him. It's for him. It's probably a good decision, and also like keep going to school another year. I mean, hey, I look back at my college years; they were the best times of probably of my life. Just completely enjoyable that time, those years. So what the hell, right? One more year, great university. I would think he probably talked to Horikoff and a couple others like that. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Horikov, they kind of made a pact or whatever, right? Said, okay, if you stay, I'll stay 1 more year. Let's, we didn't finish things this year, first ranked, and we lose. Let's go back 1 more year here and win it. Ivankovic, I would imagine, will be back in nets. They always have a good recruiting class. I'm sure they're getting a few guys in. Alex, his brother, is probably going to be there next year, from what I hear, and be kind of cool. Big brother there to initiate little bro into college life, and spend a year together in college. There's a lot of good reasons why he should go back for 1 year. I mean, I think it doesn't help the Canadiens, because I truly believe that Hage could play and make an impact. I mean, we seen Martone again tonight, right? I mean, we saw him come up, and he's younger than Hage. He was only drafted this past year, and he came in and made an impact. And I think Hage is every bit as good as Martone right now, probably better at this point in his development. So I think he could have came in and helped the Canadiens. So from a personal standpoint, I'm disappointed. I think the second line could use his just his skill, smarts, the whole works. The power play, second power play, definitely could use him. So I'm disappointed by that decision. I mean, the insiders had been saying, and that included Elliott, who broke it tonight, that Hage would probably be signing with the Habs, right? But kind of a bit of a bombshell there. And hey, good for him making the mature decision. It just goes to show that for him, it's not all about making money, and right. It's about doing what he thinks is best for long term for him, and good on him to be mature enough and selfless enough not to let's pay me here, give me show me the money. No, he's going back to school for another year, and good for him. I saw some comments, people saying, just a couple, because I posted something on Twitter, and just a couple people saying, well, oh, is he unhappy with Montreal? That's absolutely 0% credence in that. And I don't know why you'd even think that. I mean, he's going to be a Montreal Canadian. That's, I would say that's 100% guaranteed. This has nothing to do with him not wanting to sign with the Canadiens. I mean, he's still only played 2 years, right? If after next year he says, no, I'm going back for a fourth year, then then you say, oh, wait a sec here, right? Is he not going to sign? Is he going to become a free agent? Then you can broach that, but not after 2 years. It's simply him wanting to go back for one more year, just like Cole or Lane Hudson. He could have come out after his freshman year at BU, and he went back for another, and it's not going to hurt his development, and it has zero to do with him being disenchanted in any way with the Montreal Canadiens. We know the backstory, right? Yeah, it's 100% guaranteed that he's going to be signing with the Montreal Canadiens and wear a Montreal Canadiens uniform someday. I mean, his dad, he'd be doing it for his dad, right? And he grew up a Habs fan too. So, I mean, it's just, there's no way, there's not even a minute chance that the reason why he's going back is because he isn't going to sign with Montreal after next season. So anyway, you can just put that to rest. Saw this today, was pretty cool, I thought. Touching, I guess you could say too, but this was a very cool picture that I saw on X, on Twitter today. And that, of course, is it's an old school TV, which is kind of cool, but right at the pearly gates, I guess. And Guy, Rocket, and Le Gros Bill sitting on the couch there with a couple pints of popcorn, watching Cole score his 50th. If I had one, and I mentioned this in my reply, that it's too bad that Boom Boom isn't in that picture too, because he kind of gets forgotten as far as but it was at the time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the second player ever to score 50 goals in a season. So, pretty historic. He did it in an era when Rocket was the only one who had ever done it. So I would have, if it, great idea and touching, nice picture and all, but if I had been behind it, I would have made a point of having Boom Boom in the photo as well, even if, as far as those three are the standard, right? As far as greats up front for the Canadiens, Beliveau, Richard, Lafleur. But anyway, it's nevertheless a very cool photograph, and I thought it was touching and cool. Whoever thought of it. Novid to show $2. Thank you very much. And then $5. Okay, thank you for the contributions there, Novid. I hope you didn't have COVID. Matheson tried to break the NHL record for most giveaways Yeah, he had a couple there tonight, but took it out on Fantilli. Nice to see him. It was nice to see him drop the gloves. Uh, Matheson, good, showing a little bit of jam there in his game. Show your support with your thumbs up. I guess liking it. Yeah, thank you back in the day, Jay, for the contribution. I appreciate it. Donnie McCaskill. Oh, I like those yellow. I like those yellow ones, Donnie. Thanks. Thank you very much. That's quite generous of you. $10. $10 in the. I'm. By the way, I'm behaving tonight. Coffee there. I needed to pick me up. No panic. No, there's no panic on Hage. I think he could have helped the team. And I think the Canadiens, might be able to do something this year. But hey, they'll be even better next year at this time, and he'll come in and he'll really be ready to step in and make an impact when he joins the team at the end of next year. So let's just why don't we have a look at the out of town scoreboard? Of course. All right, that's not it. Tampa beats the Bruins 2-1. Ottawa, congratulations. They clinched the last spot tonight. They're in. Bruins and Sens are in officially now, with Detroit losing. They shut out the Islanders. Peter DeBoer, the old DeBoer push. I mean, Patty could have coached into a 3-0 loss tonight. But anyway, Sens are in. Good. I'm glad. Look, I live in Ottawa, and it's just more vibrancy in the city when the Sens are in the playoffs. And hey, who knows? Maybe the two will meet down the road in second or third round of the playoffs. Wouldn't that be crazy? Washington, kind of a little too late there, boys. They came up with they stomped on Pittsburgh tonight. Edmonton lost 1-0 to LA. I guess Winnipeg's done. Carolina 4-1 over Utah. That hurts the Mammoth. Nashville 2-1 over Minnesota. Looks like they're going to end up making the playoffs. Certainly didn't look that way early on when all the rumors that they were going to trade Stamkos and O'Reilly. Devils beat the Red Wings. Stevie Y, I don't know. That's 10 straight years that Detroit hasn't made the playoffs now. Weigh in there. Let me know. Do you think Stevie Y survives? It's always hard, especially like the son of the former owner and Chris Ilitch. Like, how do you go in and say to, he idolized Steve Yzerman, I'm sure. You're fired there, legend. But that's, you hire a legend, you got to fire a legend. So big, hard decisions in Hockey Town. But I don't know. I think they may have to move on from Stevie Y. I have never been impressed. He, as far as I'm concerned, 2 years ago, needed to remain patient and keep rebuilding for another year or two. And he went out and signed all sorts of like head scratching moves as far as I was concerned, getting like about 8 veterans, journeymen and all that, and getting rid of young prospects and stuff. And they weren't ready to make the playoffs, and they still haven't. So I don't know. I think it's time to move on and get a new voice in there. St. Louis beat Chicago. Seattle over Calgary. Panthers spanked the Leafs. And Philly 7-1 over the Jets in Winnipeg. That's a tough one. Vegas Golden Knights and Colorado tied 2-2. But who scored all the goals? Yeah, Martone. Martone picked up another goal. He's been pretty good since he graduated from college. Barrie beats Ottawa 5-3 in the first game. Funny, before I signed off, Pickford had a goal, and then he got the overtime winner, which was pretty cool. He's got an assist tonight. That series, man, it's tight. It's 3-3. Medicine Hat in Calgary, 3-3. So going down to the wire once again. And Kelowna is tied with Everett 2-2. Yeah, they're going to have a tough time. Moncton beat Val-d'Or 3-2. Chicoutimi over Quebec 3-1. Another tight win. Rouen beat Shawinigan 6-5. So as far as Kelowna goes, just quickly here. Oh, Papanicus scored Kelowna's first goal tonight. Good to see that. And they must have just scored. I'll just wait here and check and see if perhaps he scored again. I'll let you know in a minute. Standings wise, let's just run through it here quickly. So the Habs and 2 games left. Buffalo's 2 up on Tampa and Montreal. Montreal's got to finish ahead. Has to finish ahead here to get second place. I mean, Buffalo would have to lose their last 2 lose their last 2, and Montreal would have to get at least 3 points to still get first. It's unlikely, but hey, in 2 games, anything can happen. We'll see. Pittsburgh, 5th place. Ottawa is now in 6th, which is interesting. As far as like points goes in the East, but Philly obviously has the 3rd spot there in their division. But Columbus can still catch Philly, so they're only 2 back of Philly. And Washington actually isn't out of it yet. They're 3 back with 2 games left. So, yeah. But and even even the Islanders, I guess, still have a minute chance of making it in. So things aren't quite decided there yet. As far as the West goes, LA's got the 8th spot. Nashville's a point back. LA's got a game in hand. San Jose has to win tonight, or they're officially out. But it looks like it's coming. It's going to be coming down to Nashville and LA, unless LA loses their last 3. Then Winnipeg and San Jose still have a slight chance, but St. Louis, even they're officially eliminated. So yeah. Edmonton, 90 points. Yeah. Anyway, they would have liked to have won and clinched today, but they did not. All right. Elsewhere today, I'll just run down a couple more things here while I'm on this this schedule. Luleå. That's where Philip Eriksson is playing. Of course, they're still playing, and they lost 3-1, and they are down 3-0 to Skellefteå now in that series. Bergquist wasn't playing. Yeah, Laval. Josh Waugh with the Hattie, 2 empty netters tonight. So, as I mentioned in a tweet, he'll probably end up in Colorado, and him and McKinnon can battle for the empty net title there down the road in Colorado. But 3 goals for Josh Waugh. Sammy Blais had a 4-point night. He's more than a point a game in the American League this year. Belzile, a couple more points. So the vets all piled up a few points, and revenge for the Rocket in their back-to-back with Belleville at home this weekend. And other than that, I don't believe Zurich played today, but let me just double check, because they played yesterday. Okay. They play tomorrow in a must-win scenario for them, or they'll be gonzo. And we'll just get up this. They still haven't posted who scored Kelowna's second goal. I'll keep an eye on that one as we go along here, and see if we get any more points from Papanicus and company and Pickford. And Samurai Knight, Reinbacher getting recalled. Dobson not going on road trip. Yeah, okay. Well, here's opportunity for Reinbacher to get his first NHL action. Good for him. That was the question mark, right? With Dobson being injured. Hey, frig. I'm glad. I mean, we don't get to see Hage. I wanted to see Hage and Reinbacher, but 1 out of 2 before the end of the regular season. Good. So let's get the comments here. Suzuki with 99, yeah. Wants to return it, maybe wear the C with his brother. No rush. No, there's no rush. Was it confirmed by the Habs? Well, no, but Friedman's pretty good with this sort of stuff. Yes, Susie has 99. Whatever Hage's reasons, Habs have shown respect, and everything will be better because of it. No, absolutely nothing to worry about. Charles, yeah, that's a good point about Hughes is going to make trades during. There's no guarantee that he would have had a roster spot next year. That's true, but I think he would have. But hey, that's fine. Canadiens have lots of players on the roster. They were going to have issues trying to fit them all in anyway, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that Hage is going to wait another year. Develop with appropriate patience. Yep. Hage was as close to being as anyone was saying. Winning the Frozen Four isn't prestigious at all. Spending 3 years in college is not out in left field, Ken. Lots of players do it. Lots of good players do it. If you're a top 10 pick, you don't typically, but at the end of the day, we got to remember that Hage went in the second half of the first round. Like a lot of players that get picked after the top 20 play 3 years of college. So I don't, I don't. There's been tons that you could name through the years, so it's not it's not the end of the world. And as I say, he's you know still needs to develop physically a bit, and the best place for that is university hockey, playing 35, 40 games, practicing lifting weights more than you're playing. And you know when you play 100 games, which the Canadiens would be next year, I would imagine, or close to it. Well, counting exhibition games and playoffs, 100 games. You lose weight, and he still needs to put on a bit of good weight here. He'll do that. He'll do that in college. He wouldn't have probably done it playing 100 games of pro. So from that perspective, it made sense. Dobson will not be going on road trip, so out for the rest of the regular season at least. What happened to him anyway? That's obviously not good, right? So finally, with two down to zero right defensemen, they say, okay, I guess we got to call up Reinbacher. Whether he's overripe or not, it's Reinbacher time. So good stuff. I'm glad that Reinbacher will get the look, and I'm excited to see how he looks. And you know what? I expect to see solid outing from him. I think he'll look even better at the NHL level than he does in the AHL. I think he's ready. I think he'll be just fine. So I'm very looking forward to that. It's too bad it didn't come at home, because I would have come down and watch his debut. I would not have had any. I would have made a point, because I saw his pro debut, Laval, and that was great. And you know what? If his pro debut would have been Montreal, I'd have done the same thing this time around. So no, that's exciting. Takes the disappointment, the slight disappointment of Hage not going to be playing the last two. Well, Reinbacher is now. So I mean, at the expense of Dobson, but let's cross our fingers and hope that it's nothing. That it's that it won't keep him out of the playoffs, because that would be a huge, absolutely gaping hole in the lineup, right? But I may have to update put up a new thumbnail here. We're not getting too many people. We're not getting too many folks here tuning in. So might have to put in a Reinbacher. Just give me a second here. So I just have to download this. All right, let's get back to the goodies here. Only allowed hurt players plus Dobson gear not packed away to go on road trip. What happened to Dobson anyways? I didn't see it. Hage will increase his chances of playing center long term by playing center full extra year. Well, he didn't play center all year this year, so which he wouldn't do now in Montreal. He'll play with his brother, be captain. Yeah, he might be the captain. Typically, it's seniors that are captain. I wouldn't fully assume that Hage will be captain next year. That's a maybe, but it's typically a senior that gets to be captain. Do I think they will sign Harris to play in Laval? I don't know. I don't know that there's a spot for him right now. He might go back for his senior year. There's no way Hughes will wait for Hage to join team for next year's playoffs. Yeah. Oh, no. Well, Charles, it wasn't like Hage was going to be plugged in the second line center yet anyways. I don't believe. I'd rather seen him play pro. Yeah, but it won't hurt him. It won't hurt him. Like, from a personal standpoint, it hurts me, but him, I don't think it will hurt him at all to go back one more year. In fact, it may help him in the long run, and that's, he's got to look out for number one, not right. And no, this does not mean in any way that he's disenchanted with the Montreal Canadiens in any way, shape, or form. I would not read anything into that. And hey, you got your little bro too, and no, there's like he I don't know that he'll be captain. Typically, like I say, yeah, that is given to a senior, right? And there might even be a guy coming back for his 5th year. And if that's the case, it's kind of hard to give it to a junior. They don't typically give it to the best player. It's to the seniors, but he might get to see. At the very least, he'd be wearing a letter. That's for sure. That I can. I'd go to the bank with. All right, just 1 second. I'm gonna update this thumbnail and see if we can't get more than 60 people tuning in here. That's not a very that's not a lot of people. My scouting reports. Yeah. I guess you haven't seen my scouting reports lately, Emil. Been very positive about him. Pickford did Pickford things yesterday, 2 goals. Yep. He has 15 goals in his last 14 WHL playoff games. I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier today. I showed both goals. So that's kind of cool. You know what? Maybe I can even, why don't I grab that and show it? Because there are people that probably didn't see. You aren't all on Twitter, are you? Following me. I've got a surprise.
Into the regular season, but so far so stout tonight. Tiger. Snapshot through the glove of Eric 2. A beauty from Bryce Pickford. Has the Tigers out in front 2-1. Push down the right wing into the Hitman zone. Curls in the corner. Waits, gives, Pickford, one-timer partially blocked, rolls to the goal, loose in front, Brizgalov centers, Pickford shoots, he scores! Put in the P in MVP, Bryce Pickford wins it in overtime.
two in the crease, but he digs it free, gets possession, and centers to Bryce Pickford, who is down on a knee, picks himself up immediately, and finds a home for this puck past the outstretched glove of Eric 2. Bryce Pickford's going to find a game winner. There's going to be a conversation.
How do you like dem apples, eh? You know what? He might well be, I hadn't thought of that, but WHL League MVP. How do you not give it to a guy that, like, basically was the top goal scorer on defense? You know, captain one of the best teams. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's WHL MVP this year. Reinbacher played Friday and tonight. I can't see him playing tomorrow. Well, so you think they're going to go with 6 right defensemen? Yeah. Or sorry, left defenseman? I don't know. Reinbacher has 3 strong chances to be called up, but he already played yesterday and today. That would be 3 days and 3 games. Well, yeah. Still not real that Guy has passed. Yeah. AI photo always misses the detail. Well, I don't know. It's tough not to. I mean, if Gooley's not playing, what, are they just going to go with 5 defensemen? Like, I don't know. Tailwood games for the Habs are definitely going to have to pick it up in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, let's not forget Reinbacher is, you know, he's missed a pile of games the last 2 years. You can't overplay him. The more, you know, got to see that he's probably, I would think he's suiting up. They're definitely going to have to pick it up in the playoffs. Darren, don't worry about it. This game didn't worry me in any way, shape, or form. It's not a big deal. Can Ottawa and Winnipeg survive long term? I like to think so. What are you asking that for? Toronto also currently sitting bottom 5. Yeah, well, happens. Gooley practiced, might be close to a comeback. Yeah, probably. But still, do you want to go with 6 lefties? I don't know. I mean, they'd still like to win, right? Stevie Y had the worst luck with draft lotteries and never drafted earlier than 5th overall, despite all those awful finishes early on in their rebuild. Yeah, well, I wouldn't blame it on draft lotteries. There's a lot more, some questionable draft picks. Making Draper ex-teammate is just out of the blue. He's their head scout, picking his own kid in the draft and stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't mind taking over Detroit, some good pieces, but there are also some big question marks. Yeah. I don't see any future stars up front, really. I don't know. Tampa would also have to lose. Dobson can't play tomorrow. Yeah. Reinbacher would have to be recalled. Dobson is not playing the rest of the year. You got to think he's going to play. Yeah. TJ Hughes signing in Colorado was a surprise to me. Very unclear what will be the NHL opportunities for him considering their center line. I don't find them Who are all their good young centers, Francois? Can you list them for me? They got guys that are in the twilight of their career at center, including Kadri. There's they're going to be openings. Hughes isn't ready to step in no matter where he signs, so he's going to need AHL seasoning. And also, like, he's not very big. Who's to say he's going to play center in the NHL too, right? 50% of centers in college and junior end up on the wing anyways, so you can't just look at it from the center aspect of it. On the block shot. Every game Montreal gets outshot by a lot. See what happened when Dobish plays a regular game. Oh, Dobish, yes. Montreal out in 5 games, first round. What about the 10 of the last 11 games that they won, Steve? You not remember the Patty Waugh days where they got outshot big time and they won anyway? When Dobson went out, it was surprising to see Marty put out Engstrom on the power play. Might show what Marty thinks of his game. Yeah. I'm okay with Hage choosing 1 more year. He can beef up, work on face-offs, two-way play. Happy for Rhino getting called up. Hasn't been super impressed with Engstrom last few games. No. Engstrom was he was a bit of a culprit there on a couple of plays, eh? I don't know. He that one goal against that he was on early on, the 2 guys went for the same guy and didn't pick up. Was it Coyle in front? That wasn't a great decision by him. I just got to add this here. We're starting to get a few more people tuning in. Just got to sweeten the pot here a bit more with Reinbacher. Just all right. Francis Savoy. Hi, Grant. I just tuned in. Good day. You think that they will trade him at the draft? Who's that, Francis? Do I think they'll trade who? Maybe the Habs will recall Nate Clermont instead of Reinbacher just to have Grant go nuclear. Oh, no. Clermont's the guy. You mean they didn't call up Clermont? What the hell? Looks like a puck hit his glove, maybe finger. Yeah. That was a sarcastic joke. Hage, good, bad, or ugly. Grant does know his prospects. Oh, yeah. Early in the year, I was hard on him, Emil, but hey, when they're good, they're good. When they suck, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Young bucks like Reinbacher can play 6 games in 5 days. Don't let the old bastards remember their young. Don't the old bastards remember their young days? Well, exactly. I have no issue. Look, guys in the AHL play 3 games in 3 every year. They play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at least a couple of times a year, maybe more. So Reinbacher can do it. Shit. And don't forget, the guys sat, half of the past 2 years in the stands. Trust me, he's not going to be too tired. Do you find it suspicious that Gouli got injured again? No. I find it suspicious that they called it, he's out one game and they say maintenance. Just call it what it is. If he's freaking injured, he's injured, Yeah, we're gonna come down on him because he's always friggin' injured, but that's life. Transparency, please. Ooh, 6:30 in the morning, Salavat against Lokomotiv. I'll try to remember to get up to watch some of that. I actually found a decent channel, Russian channel that I can watch. I can watch some of that game on, which would be cool. But at the NCAA, they seem to be quite close. Could you elaborate? College is not NHL, Francois. I think that Montreal needs to start faster. The falling behind problem needs to be fixed. Yeah. Gouli looks super skinny. No, it's not super skinny. No goal tonight for McKinnon. So Cole closed ground. Hey, there. Somebody finding some silver lining again here, right? No empty nets tonight. Good one, Kurt. McKinnon still at 52. Yes, sir. When I was Rhino's age, I played hockey 8 days a week, soccer another 6, while juggling 4 girlfriends, drinking 5 kegs, smoking an ounce. Yeah, those were the days, Emil. All right, we're caught up here on the we'll go a little longer. Not getting a lot of we don't have a huge crowd on a Saturday night. And Mark is still AWOL. I sent him a friggin' email and no response. So I'm worried about our buddy Mark all of a sudden disappearing. I'm not even sure what his last name is. Well, I'm caught up here, so it might be a good time. Give a little shout out to our sponsors here, folks. Next Level Hockey. Specialist in hockey development, trusted by NHL prospects. Whether you're looking to elevate your shooting, skating, stick handling, or overall game, NLH is here to take your game to the next level. Visit them at nextlevelhockey.com and follow their Instagram at nextlevelhockey_ for daily tips, posts, and updates. If you or someone you know have young aspiring hockey players who want to elevate their game, trust Next Level Hockey to guide them forward. Next Level Hockey, it's in the name. And of course, Bonachère Caves, Eganville, Ontario, a private family-owned business run by hockey fans. Bring your light there, go spelunking. I'm telling you, it's a blast. They're open May 24th weekend, right through until Thanksgiving. Fantastic tourist destination. 613-628-2283 is the number. Check out their website. It's very cool. Bonachère Caves in Eganville, Ontario, just an hour outside of Ottawa. Go Winnipeg and Ottawa. Yeah, well, Winnipeg, I think, is done. Would I pair Rhino with Matheson? Hey, Sil. I don't know. I'd put him with Hudson. Get a glimpse of the future there, man. Have a great night. Same to you, Samurai. See you tomorrow. I sure hope so. I'll be doing a. Rick and I will be doing our prospect show. Rick had a family event tonight, so he couldn't be with us. But he has sent me his draft prospect of the week. I have a Habs prospect of the week. It'll be the first time that he's featured this year. He's having a hell of a playoff. Got some good video on him, and it's nice to see somebody else who's kind of been off the radar step up and grab the mantle and be quite deserving of the prospect of the week. You'll see why when I show you the video. Wonder if Gooley went on the road trip. It was mentioned he was practicing in a regular jersey. Yeah, with bubble wrap on though, I heard. Yeah. I hope so. I hope that he goes on the roadie and maybe gets in the lineup there. That'd be fine by me. Oh, Medicine Hat's gone up 4-3. Don't know who scored yet. Nice to see Medicine Hat. I like to see them make it into the Eastern Finals, and then they probably fall to Prince Albert. That'll be good. Good experience for Pickford, having 2 long playoff runs in a row. Of course, making it to the Memorial Cup last year, and now being hopefully making at least the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Well, I'll study Reinbacher's. I saw some of the game today. Reinbacher pretty steady again. Like I love how he gets back, retrieves pucks, and it's really hard to get the puck off him. What are you looking forward to in the playoffs for Montreal? Just winning more games than last year. Being more competitive. I'd like to see them at least have a 7-game series. I think that would be a fantastic experience for the crew, whether they win it or not. Obviously, I want them to win, but only 3 player stalls with equipment after game were Laine, Dobson, and Carrier. Jeez. All right. Laine, Carrier, Dobson, only equipment left behind, been reported. Yeah. So Laine's not playing defense tomorrow, folks. Who are your top 3 picks to win the Cup this year? Ottawa, Montreal, Edmonton. That makes Gooley on the plane. Hey, Sil. Powers of deduction, my friend. Yeah. Hey, if he was practicing full and Dobson's out, they've been saying that if it was the playoffs, Gooley'd be playing. So with Dobson out, expect to see Gooley. He's practicing full equipment. Even if he's got the bubble wrap on, look for him likely to get the nod tomorrow. And maybe Engstrom sits out and they get Reinbacher in on the right side. I always look forward to the prospect videos. Good stuff, Sheldon. And I look forward to you watching it and everybody else. I appreciate the support when it comes to my prospect videos. It wasn't long ago, like I used to just put up the videos and not have any commentary. I just I just was not comfortable doing this at all. And now it's, I'm not uncomfortable at all. I'm not nervous doing it. I'm still not great at it, but a little smoother than I used to be. And I appreciate that people, hung with me through the early days of my prospect videos, and and now I'm a little more comfortable doing them than I was a year ago. That's for sure. Engstrom seems to struggle with NHL speed and pressure so far. Seems okay in neutral offensive zone, but rocky in D zone. Yeah, well, in the neutral and offensive zone, he can get away from opponents with his skating, right? But when you're locked in, you're stuck in your defensive zone. You can't, you're not going to beat opponents with speed and skating. You've got to utilize your smarts, your strength, your physicality. He's got decent smarts, but the strength and physicality part of it are not what I'd say are, they're lower than his skating and puck skill traits. So, yeah, that's what I've had an issue with. I just don't know that, he's not. I just don't see him as a fit for the Habs blue line, because they do have guys that can carry the mail, with the puck offensively, skating wise. It's the crease clearing, physicality, defensive defenseman type that they're still lacking at some, especially come playoff time and stuff, and which is why I still see Engstrom as one of the more likely candidates to be a trade chip for them in the off season, and we'll see. Gooley, Rhino. Yeah. But you've got all the size on one. You want more than one shutdown duo. Like when Montreal went to, you put all your eggs in one basket, then, I don't know. Then you've got the other four. Where's your, you still got two top lines on every team, and they can't be out against both the top lines. So I think Marty likes a balance. Typically you like a balance. Like Reinbacher can make Hudson even better, and Hudson can make Reinbacher better. So I can see them being the top pair and playing 25 minutes a night, and I don't know that that'd be the case with Rhino and Hudson, Gooley and Rhino, because Hudson's the guy that gets the most minutes, right? Matheson and Dobson as well. So I know what you're saying. I like them maybe being paired together late in games, maybe on the PK down the road, but as far as long-term pairing duo, I just like that you get a little bit of everything for Hudson Reinbacher. And Reinbacher it'll help his offensive game, because I think there is offensive game there, but that and that will really come out playing with a guy like Hudson. Wouldn't be the case necessarily with Gooley, but with Hudson, you see Reinbacher get quite a few assists and goals and playing with Hudson, I believe. I'm not sure that would happen playing with Gooley. And I also don't know that they get as much ice time as, a pairing of Hudson and Reinbacher down the road. But no, I know what you're saying as far as a shutdown duo goes. But, you can. The Canadiens like to shuffle around the pairings during a game anyway. And you can always pair those guys situationally, right? Protecting a lead, PK, ends of periods, stuff like that. Defensive zone, late in the period, and all of those where you could say, okay, Rhino, Gooley, get out there. We'll save lane for the next offensive zone face-off or whatever. Situational, right? I think Gooley fits with almost any right D, though. Yeah. The most famous thumb injury since Stelvin slashed and broke Riche's. Oh, yeah. I think the most famous thumb injury since the fracture, wouldn't it be? Because that was more recent. The Subban slash on, the Subban slash on Stone, and the leap and the micro fracture, as the late great Brian Murray informed us. It'll be a boost for Montreal with another win tomorrow, so Grant can raise another can of Molson Brew. Yes, I'm saving it for tomorrow night, folks. Oh, I thought I'd take a break tonight. Start of the year, I thought they would have gone with Gooley-Dobson pairing, but that never really happened. Well, it still can. Grant, would you sit Hudson, Matheson, Slav, Anderson, and the cough? Last game versus Philly. Suzuki has a streak going, so I doubt they sit him. Yeah. They'll sit a few guys. I think Sill for the last game. Depending a little bit. Like if they're still, if there's still a shot at them getting first in the East, they may not. If there's still a shot of them getting home ice with a win, they may not. Caulfield may sit. I guess there's no real milestones for him to reach. Like 90 points isn't really, yeah, maybe. There'll be some players sitting for sure. I mean, Matheson, I would sit if half the defense core wasn't injured, but yeah, could be Matheson sitting out too, and Reinbacher, in, and Hudson maybe, but again, they've got so many injuries on defense that one of those guys is probably going to have to play just so they have 6, perhaps. But yeah, Deneau, I think would be a good, if you were going to, Deneau would be a good bet to sit out, I think. He will be better in the NHL. And I think you're talking about Reinbacher, right? Yeah, I agree with that. I believe Reinbacher will be better in the NHL than in the AHL. But that's not saying that he hasn't. I don't think he's been good in the AHL. I think he's been fine. But I think he can be even better, playing with better players and all that. Medicine Hat up 4-3 on Calgary, 8 minutes left, third period. Looking to go up 2-0 in their series. Kelowna's in Everett, trailing 1-0 in the series, and Everett is up 3-2, and they're just getting almost done the second period. I'll probably get upstairs and catch some of the third. I wouldn't mind seeing Papanicus, see how he's looking. I think a lot of people who don't watch Reinbacher drastically underestimate him. He'll be a welcome addition. Agreed. Also tonight, two things can be true. We played like shit, but it's not the end of the world. Agreed as well. The Mark Stone microfracture incident reminded me of Brandon Prust. Yeah. That was the Greiba hit. The Greiba hit on Eller, who was Montreal's best player that playoff season up until that hit. That was a scary one. I did not like that injury. Habs had some really scary injuries for a stretch there. Zednik and Trent McCleary, Pacioretty, Lars Eller, Saku's cancer, Blake Geoffrion's injury. It wasn't with Montreal, but in the on the farm team. Yeah. Well, Zednik had a couple of injuries. That hit by McLaren, and then also the cut, right? Puck in the throat, McCleary. Yeah. No, there's Canadiens went through a period there where it seemed like the team was cursed, as Trevor used to tell me, well, they built the Bell Center on ancient Indian burial ground, and I don't know that that's ever been officially verified or not, but say, he'd always say, oh, the friggin' team is cursed. I don't know if get an NCAA title next year, but better and stronger, yeah. Let me just curious how many guys are they going to lose, right? I mean, obviously TJ Hughes. I think Duke's a senior, yeah. So Duke will be gone. Barnett should be back. Hage should be back. I would think Rayo Mullen will be back. Moldenhauer, he's a junior. I would suspect will be back. Drew Schock's a freshman, so a decent one on the blue line back. Cole McKinney definitely be back. He was a freshman this year, solid. Hughes obviously will be graduating. Aiden Park's only a freshman. He had a solid freshman year. He'll be back. Garrett Shifsky, I would suspect, and he might be a guy that would be in the running for captaincy too. He'll be a senior next year. A heart and soul guy. Jaden Perron, probably back. Hage, obviously. Ben Robertson, Jr., I would suspect he'll be back. Malcolm Spence, he'll just be better next year as a sophomore. Miles Gust, Newhart in nets. Peck, Newhart's gone, but Peck will be back. Ivankovic, I would imagine, back. Keenan Draper's graduating. Horkoff, hopefully he's back for his junior year. I think he probably needs one more year. Luca Fantilli, of course, will be gone, but Henry Muse got hurt, but he was a freshman. He'll be He'll be back next year. He'll be solid. Ivankovic as a sophomore, good goaltender. But Muse, don't forget, got hurt, and he'll be good next year as a sophomore. Valentini was just a freshman, going to get drafted fairly high, second, third round, maybe, maybe fourth round, but whatever. He'll be drafted. Matthew Mania was just a freshman. He's half decent too. So, that they're going to have. They aren't really going to lose all that many players. And I'm just going to quickly have a look here at some of the Alexander Hage, of course, coming in. Hurlburt, well, there you go. Like top scorer in the Western League. He'll be joining them next year. Sima, who's a decent forward in the OHL, of course. He'll be coming in. Abe Barnett, Bongo, Dennis Cooper Dennis, sorry. Almost think that would be turned around, but Brant Harper, Kosick, Justin LaRose, Neiman. So, yeah, there's two or three. Hurlburt obviously is the key out of that group, but he'll come in and probably play with Hage next year, and Hage and Spets, or Horkov, Spence and Hage. Anyway, they'll be and get McKinney in there in the top six too. They'll have a really solid top six and good goaltending, decent defense. So look for Michigan to be one of the favorites again next year. Hage will be a beast. Maybe he wins the Hobey Baker. Only thing I'm worried about is our secondary scoring, mixing up the lines. What do you think will be our forward lines game one of the playoffs? It's hard to say what the forward lines will be. He's certainly trying to find the right combinations on that second line, right? I didn't mind the line combinations tonight. They just they didn't have it, but it was pretty balanced group. Like they put Doc, Deneau, and Newhook together. I mean, that could be a decent third line. They had Anderson, Evans together, and that could be, the makings of a pretty solid bottom six line. And Texier, well, I guess they had Anderson, Evans, and Valeno. Texier with Cappy and Demidov had a few moments in the last couple of games, had some scoring chances. Hopefully Demi's okay there. Took the shot in the beak. I think he went to the dressing room to kind of stop the leaking more than anything, right? But speaking of Deneau, he has had a crazy playoff last 4 years with Kings. If I saw correctly, 19 points, 24 with Kings. I think Phil will elevate his game in the playoffs. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said earlier, Jeff, I think they might have had a little, like this sometimes is what these guys do, right? Well, I don't know. I'll stay if you'll stay. One more year. We got to, especially, you have the chat right after you're the number one ranked team and you lose semifinals and you outshot the team that you lost to by double. And you think, we shouldn't have freaking lost that. You've got the top scorer in the WHL coming in next year. Hage and Horkov will be dominant if they play together next year. Spence will only be better. Ivankovic back in nets. Guys, let's do this one more time. Let's win it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Horkov and Hage made a pact, said, okay, if you stay, I'll stay. Let's give her one more year here. Like you saw it with, who was it? Like BU did it, they had a group of guys, came back one more year. Perreault and Gabe Perreault and Ryan Leonard, and Will Smith, but Perreault and Leonard came back for one more year. Okay, let's, Leonard certainly could have turned pro year before. Let's stay one more year. Let's try to win a title and get a little more, experience. Hage's decision had a lot to do with Michael wanting to play with his younger brother. Yeah, I think that weighed more in his decision than wanting to beef up and get in another academic year. Well, I said all of those things, Sil. I was at the start of the podcast. I ran through the different reasons, beefing up the academic part. I mean, he's going to be a pro hockey player, right? That certainly wouldn't be as high up as the. I think beefing up, working on face-offs, playing with your younger brother, trying to win a national title are the main reasons, and unfinished business, so to speak. And then after that would be the getting in another year of schooling, and who knows, maybe he just met a girl in Michigan, and she's not going to be ready to move up to Montreal next year, and who knows, right? There might be a girl involved in this too, where you think, one more year here back with her in Michigan, and if she's the right girl, she can come up and we can live together, get married, all that stuff, and make the full commitment. That there could be that could be the main factor for all we know. Don't know. So we can sit back here and say, oh, well, he should have turned pro, he should have done this, you're not in his shoes, right? You don't know that any of those things. Who knows? Maybe his dad said, well, I want you to get your friggin' degree. Maybe that was something that he said to him, right? When, hey, don't forget, when he was 15 or whatever, his parents and him, and they made the decision, hey, don't go the OHL route, go to college. And maybe he made a promise that could be too, that I'll get my degree, I'll go the college route, and I'll get my degree, fast track it. How students can do that too, right? For all we know, it was a promise that, and his dad wanted him to do that. And hey, considering everybody knows what happened and stuff, if that even is part of it at all, then it was a no-brainer for him to go back for one more year. So we're speculating here. I've now named 6 reasons why he could have gone back, and it might, all 6 of them could be factors. And if they are, then frig, I'd have been surprised if he turned pro. If all those 6 things were indeed factors in why he stayed, well, I don't blame him one bit for staying in college one more year. I mean, frig, if I could do it over again, I'd have stayed another 2 years in college. I freaking loved it. Fun time, fun years. Max Plante and Trey Augustine, both Red Wings. When Hobie Baker and goalie of the year, that should help the club down the road. Winning a trophy in college doesn't. There have been lots of guys that won goalie of the year and Hobie Baker that never even made the NHL. So, it's just a voting. It's just winning a vote. Like Isaac Howard, is he going to be a star in Edmonton? Maybe. There's been a lot of, and then the goalies, frig. How many goalies of the year over the past, the Mike Richter Award winners have become NHL goalies over the past 20 years? Not very many of them. So, but we'll see. I think Augustine will be a NHL goalie. Max Plante, a little undersized. Certainly a nice college player. Will he be an impactful top 6 NHL forward? Maybe. The odds are against him, I'd say, but yeah, it's but again, it's winning. It's a vote of, and I mean, hey, it doesn't guarantee anything, but never hurts to have on your mantle, right? Dryden McCagg was the goalie of the year and won the Hobie Baker, right? Did he turn out great? Well, he's not even in the NHL. Scott Prunovich, kind of betweener, he's sort of playing in the NHL. Adam Gaudette, Will Butcher, Jim Vesey, Drew LeBlanc, Jack Connolly, Andy Miel, Blake Geoffrion. Remember when Blake won? Matt Gilroy, Kevin Porter, Ryan Duncan, Matt Carroll, Marty Sertich, Junior Lassard, Peter Sanya, Jordan Leopold, Mike Matteau, Jason Krog, Brian Bronin, Brian Holzinger, Chris Marinucci, David Emma, Kip Miller, Lane McDonald. So, you see, I mean, I'm going over obviously Jack Eichel and, Cale Makar and Cole Caulfield. There have been obviously players that went on to be great NHLers, but I wouldn't put, I wouldn't say that Augustine's going to be the next Ken Dryden, and that Max Plante's the next Cole Caulfield or anything like that. Yeah, Hage isn't even 20 yet, eh? NIL money incentive for Hage. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Go watch Cole tossing t-shirts in the crowd, even look graceful left-handed. Okay. He's a lefty, always been. Yeah. Yeah, some of us lefties can be graceful. His father made sure he pitched left and shot right. Oh, better path to glory. Aha. When you played hockey, who did you try to copy their style of play? Who was your favorite player growing up? Well, I'm not. I'm certainly not. Was never built like Larry Robinson. I was more Frankie Bouillon. Favorite player growing up, LaRouche and Lafleur. Beliveau really early on, but Guy Lafleur, frick. Hey, you're 10 years old and this kid, first overall pick, you know, my hockey card says Guy will be a superstar, and he blooms, and it's the best player in the league. It was hard not to be a fan of Guy, but I didn't really have a bona fide favorite, really, other than when LaRouche came over, again, like 100-point score at 19, and I just, you know, I know what the young fans in Philly at places like that, oh, geez, how come Michkov doesn't play more? Remember young fans with Galchenyuk, why doesn't he play more? Well, I was like that with LaRouche, with Scotty Bowman. What's this guy doing sitting on the bench? He freaking had 100 points as a 19-year-old in the NHL, and you're freaking putting him in the stands. I couldn't understand it when I was, 13 years old. But hey, Lafleur, it was hard not to be idolize Guy Lafleur when I was 12, 13 years of age. Best player in the NHL. Come on. But I loved Larry. I didn't really pattern myself. I mean, I knew I wasn't any of those players. So I just tried to play a rugged style, loved to hit, loved passing the puck, loved shooting, played some defense, played some forward. So, I don't know, Jim Roberts, I guess. I right, left, but shoot, catch, throw right. There you go. Sammy Harris. I think he goes back for another year. Yeah, I followed the WHA. I even remember the theme song for Toronto Toros hockey. WHA, come on and get ready. Hey, hey, hey. Anyone else remember that? Lou Nistico, Leapin' Lou, Mark Napier, Naslov Nedomansky, shooter, what was it? Shotgun Simpson, Frank Mahavlich, of course, when he came over. I followed the WHA for sure. Global, it just got fired up as a TV station. Do any of you remember the show Global? And Harvey Korman was it was a spoof newscast when Global first came out, and Harvey Korman was the like Peter Mansbridge, and it was different. And for them to get Harvey Korman, pretty famous obviously from Carl Burnett days, to come in and do that show was quite a scoop. And of course, he was Hedley Lamar in Blazing Saddles. But yeah, yep, I remember the WHA for sure. Everyone wanted to be like Guy. Yeah, well, yeah. Does it seem reasonable that the Habs could soon have 5 or 6 point per game players? Yeah, I mentioned it a while back. Like, Demi and Slav to the 3. Yeah. You have to go back to Francis, Lemieux, Yager. I forget who the others were, but there were 5 80-point scorers on Pittsburgh. 95, 96 or something like that. They had 5, and I think that was the last team that had 5 80-point scorers, which I don't know if it was Rob Brown, maybe Kevin Stevens, perhaps a defenseman at the time. Let me just double check here. Nedved probably was the other one. I think Zubov too. Lemieux, Jagger, Francis, Nedved, and Zubov, if I recall correctly. And it wasn't 95, 96. It wasn't 94, 95 because of the stupid strike. Was it 93, 94? No. Might have been 96, 97. No, here. There was 6. Murphy, Jagger, Francis, Tocchet, Stevens, and Lemieux in 92, 93. So, needless to say, I was pretty happy when David Volek scored that goal against in overtime against the Penguins to eliminate them in Game 7, so that the Habs did not have to meet the mighty Penguins. That was I jumped out of my seat because hey, frig, we actually have a chance of winning this damn thing with the friggin' the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs. 6 friggin' 80-point scorers in the lineup. Thank you very much. And they lost to a ragtag Islanders team that had no business beating them in the friggin' playoffs. They had Turgeon, Steve Thomas, Derek King, Benoit Hogue, Pat Flatley, Malikov, Uwe Krupp, Jeff Norton. I mean, they're all right, but Volek had 8 goals, 13 assists that year. He wins the series. That was, just like Steve Smith in '86 when he scored off of Grant Fuhr. All right, now the Habs stand a chance. It was the exact same. '86. The hockey gods smiled down on the Habs in '86 and '93. I mean, I don't think there was any chance that Montreal beat Pittsburgh that year. But then they end up playing the Islanders, and, the rest was history. So, yeah. And LA winning was a bit of a upset too. But they had 6 85-point scorers, 4 100-point scorers. Mario had 160 points in 60 games that year. It was crazy that they lost. Yeah. Barrasso and Netsch, Shell Samuelson. The 2 Samuelsons, actually. Dave Tippett. We got Napier and Uhl over from the WHA. Yeah. Cam Connor scored a big overtime goal against Boston. Why did the Habs trade Pierre LaRouche? Yeah, I'm not really. Well, they weren't winning, right? And he was kind of offensive first, and they had a fair. They were pretty strong down the middle at the time. So it was. Yeah, I don't. It's a good question, but I mean, he had scored 50 goals, right? One of the last ones Habs to do it, but yeah, that was a little surprising that they did it, but they did get out of the deal, as it turned out. They ended up getting 5th overall pick in the draft, and they grabbed Peter Svoboda, who helped them win a cup too. So didn't end up being a terrible trade, I don't think. LaRouche became the first player, though, to ever score, because he went on to score 40 with both Hartford and the Rangers. So I believe he scored 40 goals with 4 different clubs. And I don't know that anyone has ever done that other than LaRouche. It was quite a feat. I'm just going to go back and look here. Like, what was he traded in 82? Or was it? Huh. Yeah. They had Acton, Mondu. The hell? They still had Jarvis at the time. Wickenheiser was, I think they were finally thinking, well, we'll give Wick his chance. Doug Risebrough, but LaRouche got traded pretty early on, 22 games into the season. Yeah, it was a little bit of a head scratcher, all right, but I know I was upset. Flower and Flight was something to see. One last trip to the drill and mission section of the forum would be a dream come true. Yeah. The old hair of fly in there. We got Mark Napier and Réjean Houle over from the WHA. Yeah. Who else did they get? Rod Langway. Langway played a year for the Birmingham Bulls, did he not? Or am I thinking of, maybe I'm thinking of Rob Ramage. But Houle came back, which was nice. Yeah, Langway played a year with the Birmingham Bulls. I thought so. Teammate of Napier's, actually, that year. There were a few ties to the Birmingham team because, Frank Mahovlich played on him too. Phil Roberto and Langway and Napier became Habs. That was quite a team. They had Henderson, Kenny Linsman. But if you recall, a bunch of kids played in their draft years, played in the WHA that year. I think Mike Gartner did too. Gretzky, Messier. Napes played 2 years, but he was only 17 when he joined the WHA. I did not mind him getting picked. I had seen a lot more of him than Mike Bossy. Michel Bossy, as he was called at the time. And then when he got drafted by American teams, I'm Mike, by the way. I'm Mike Bossy. Shh, it's the news on Global. Oh, you remember Global? Are there any? I've meant to look up on. I wonder if there's any videos on YouTube of that show. I got to take a deep dive on that. It'd be cool to see. It was pretty funny. It's a pretty funny show. Now maybe Hage and Zorowski can come to the Habs about the same time. Yeah, well, I say it'll be Hage coming to the Habs. It'll be Hage coming to the Habs first next spring. I don't think Zorowski will be playing with the Habs next year. He might come over at the end of the year, hopefully to play in Laval, but we'll see. Real Cloutier couldn't have been a Hab in the glory days. Yeah, if there'd have been a spot for him. He was kind of an offensive first guy, looked great in the WHA, but it's too bad that Mark Tardif actually jumped ship because he was just coming into his own in the NHL when he left for the WHA, and he was before that injury from Rick Jodzio, that horrible stick swinging thing. He was never the same player after that. He was the best player in the WHA, like superstar. And he could have been a 40, 50 goal guy, I think, in Montreal. Cloutier, he wouldn't have got the, he came in a couple of years, Quebec. They didn't have legitimate top six. And so he got that opportunity. He had a couple of decent years with Quebec and then fell off. But, he wouldn't have been ahead of Lafleur and Schott. And he would have been ahead of Cloutier, Cournoyer still. And so I don't know if he would have. But Tardif, definitely, if he'd have never left Montreal, second line, it would have had Cournoyer, Tardif, and Lemaire to go with Mahovlich, Schott, and Lafleur. Holy frig. What a top six. They made do with, they moved in Murray Wilson. He played with Cournoyer and Lemaire for a bit, and then it was then Mondu came in and took Lemaire's spot when Lemaire went up to the top line, and Mahovlich got traded for LaRouche. But the top six of Lafleur's, those 3 years there, Lafleur, Schott, Mahovlich, Lemaire center, and Cournoyer and Tardif. Oh my goodness. Wow. They'd have been unstoppable. Zorowski has not been impressive as the season moved along. Died off a bit. I think it's more just needing to get stronger, more than anything. Folks, please hit that. We've hit the 100 mark here a couple times here. We're at 99 at the moment. Just like Nick Suzuki at 99. Let's, we got 600 watching on X, on Twitter. Let's, just like Suzuki, let's get it up to 100. Oh, it just jumped down to 89. It's weird how can it go from 99 to 88 in the span of 20 seconds? It's weird, eh? All right. But let's get her up over 100 here, and let's hit that like button, please. Want to get 100. It's always my goal to hit 100 concurrent on on YouTube and 100 likes. Post game. I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. Malikov made me pull my hair out. Oh yeah, good skier though. Didn't Cam Connor score the OT winner against the Leafs? Yeah. I thought it was it against the Leafs? Okay. I was thinking Boston for some reason, but it might have been the Leafs. I remember LaRouche scored a freaking hell of a goal against Boston, beat them. He'd been sitting out, and then he came in and he scores the winning freaking goal. I did try to pattern my LaRouche with that. I'll never forget the goal. He faked the shot, went to the left, and as the goalie spread his legs, stuffed the puck in between his pads, and that became, I tried to pattern my my breakaway move whenever I got a breakaway over that. I do my Pierre LaRouche deke, and it worked a couple times. It worked on occasion. Goalies in those days didn't always get the paddle down, cover the 5-hole. Cam Connor, great comment, forgot him, but do remember that playoff goal. Yeah, scored a big one. He was like top 10 pick, and then chose the WHA over Montreal, and ended up. It's funny, you go back and you look at that draft, right? This was in the heyday of the Broad Street Bullies, and you go back and you look at the draft right after they won the Broad Street Bullies won the 2 cups back to back, and you look at that draft, like the Chartres Cam Connor draft. Let me just get it up here. Yeah. The 1974 amateur draft. This was just after the Flyers had won their first cup. Cam Connor, 5th overall. Doug Risebrough, 7th overall. Rick Chartres, 10th overall. Mario Tremblay, 12th overall. Gord McTavish, 15th overall. And this was the beauty of Sam Pollock. 5 picks in the top 15, and all of them could scrap. All of them could take care of themselves. They were all tough, right? Risebrough, 1,500 career penalty minutes. Tremblay, 1,000 career penalty minutes. Gordon McTavish, big. Like Larry Robinson told me stories about him. But then at 33 overall, Gilles Lupien, who, of course, those who would remember, was, a policeman himself. Huge. 6'6" and strong, strong as an ox. If he got a hold of you, you were done, right? But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big, tough players picked in the top 33. All would play in the NHL. McTavish, didn't, he got a cup of coffee or whatever, but a big, tough guy too, right? But they just loaded up on the size and toughness and said, okay, And the year before, they picked Goldup, who could handle himself. Pretty big boy. Gainey, Mr. Staple into the boards with his forechecking, defensive genius. So those 2 drafts, Sam could see, like, okay, you want to play that way? We'll draft some tough guys. Risebrough, Tremblay became 2 parts of the best third line in hockey at the time. Bring up Lambert, who could handle himself, was tough as nails too. Big, strong man, 30-goal scorer, and there you had your third line, and it was a huge part. Just like I've been talking about, Montreal, till they've got a real bona fide, one of the best third lines in the league. and second lines. But that's coming. Then they'll be true contenders, I think. And they're a little piece away from that yet, but it's an important underrated part. Yes, you always have the you got to have the top 6 guys, the skill guys. Every team has those, but like that are contenders. But the cup champs, invariably, you look back through history, and there's very few cup winners that didn't have what could be at the time considered the best, or certainly one of the best third lines in hockey. Better than a lot of clubs' second lines. You need the depth. I'm thinking Mike Gartner may have scored 40 with 4 teams. Okay, maybe, eh? I know LaRouche was the first. He was the first to score 40 with 3. And then it took a while before anyone else was able to duplicate it. But yeah, it was 40 with 3. Yeah. He never did score 40 with Hartford, but LaRouche was the first. And yeah, you're right. He not the only ever, but he was the first to score 40 goals with 3 different teams: the Rangers, the Habs, and the Penguins. And of course, he almost scored 50 with 3. He had 48 with the Rangers. And obviously 50. He scored 53 with Pittsburgh and 50 with the Habs. So quite a goal scorer and a hell of a golfer. Like, just a natural athlete, this guy. Like, what was Robinson telling me about the time that he golfed against a pro, and just wearing like sandals and this and that, blah, 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 and almost beat him in some golf tournament. Just a natural through and through, natural athlete who, if he'd applied himself a little more, just like Richer, might have been an all-time great. But still, he did okay, right? When you're the first player to ever score 40 goals with 3 different teams, that's something else. So just looking at Gartner here. Never scored 40 with the North Stars. Obviously, he did it with the Rangers and the Caps. Never. He only scored 40 with 2 teams, from what I see here. There haven't been many that scored 40 plus goals with 3 different teams, and LaRouche was the first. Ulf Nilsson and Anders Hedberg, yeah, they were all right. Didn't mind it. Didn't hurt that they had Bobby Hull on their wing, though, either. Bobby was still... My pops was sure LaRouche trade was an eye on Super Mario. If things had worked out, 66 would be a Hab. Well, Hartford wasn't that bad, but yeah, I hear you. There was no way that Eddie Johnson was going to... I don't know if you ever saw there was a documentary done on that draft year and how badly Eddie Johnson tanked, and it was a real impetus. The start of when they started talking about, okay, we need to start considering a draft lottery of some sort here, because it was painfully obvious that Pittsburgh tried their best to tank. Your insight and stories help ease watching a poor performance tonight. I look forward to your podcasts every day. Thanks, George. That's nice to hear. By the way, guys, I don't mind being buttered up. Did you know the Rochester Americans were called the Americans in honor of the Montreal Canadiens, as Rochester's first stint in AHL was as a Habs farm team back in the day? Yeah, you old enough to remember that, Silvio? Oh yeah, JC jumped. Yeah, Tardif, Tremblay, and Uhl all made the jump to the WHA, and Lafleur almost did. And if social media had been around at the time, the way he was being ostracized after his first 3 seasons with the Habs, he'd have made the jump to Quebec too. Sound like a broken hand for Dobson. Oh boy. Yeah. Mahavlich holds the Habs assist record. That's right, 82. I think he had 117 points, 35 goals, 82 assists. Finished 4th, was it? 4th or 5th in scoring. Mahavlich and Lafleur back-to-back, 74, 75. 3rd and 4th, or 3rd and 5th, or 3rd and 4th. Yeah. Or was it Or and Dion? 1, 2. Something like that. Thumbs up, everyone. Yeah. Hit that like button, please. And we've gotten up over 100 a couple of times. Right now we're at 90. Well, we were at 97, and I check it again. It's 95. Kluche, 60 goals. Yeah, well, it was the WHA. Friggin' Gordy at like 48 was still a 100-point scorer in the WHA. Tardif had the best year, the best WHA year of anyone that won. 71 goals, 77 assists, 148 points in 75-76. Again, if he'd have been on the Habs playing on the second line with Lemaire and Cornwallier, oh my goodness. And then Lafleur shot Mahavlich first line. Untouchable. Yeah. Oh, he outpunched Jonathan. Just Jonathan got a shot in and then punched his head into the ice. Bouchard won that fight up until the last. He got caught with one. That's hockey. Freaking one time, he wanted to back at him, and they never played him the rest of the series, and Bouchard never forgave Scotty for that one. Habs need a big left winger that can handle himself. That'd be nice. Genesis to get Reinbacher playing a few games. I'm all for it. Still want both available for the playoffs. Yeah. Any news on a Hage signing? Did I miss anything? Yeah, you did. You missed the fact that Hage is not going to sign. He's going back. Hage is going back for his junior season. And you know what? I should probably add that. Thank you for reminding me. Do the old update. There. That'll get them flocking. So nobody's heard from Mark, eh? There's something's going on here. I'm worried. Mark has just disappeared off the face of the earth. And it's not because he said he'd send me $50 when Cole got his 50th goal. Something's happened. And I just I wish I knew what was going on. I'm pretty sure I emailed him the right email address and asked if everything was okay. And that was a day and a half ago, and I have not heard back. So, Mark, if you tune into this after or whatever, reply to my email, please. I'm worried. Dino Cicerelli, Patrick Minard. Dino Ciccarelli. He scored 40 with 3 different teams, yeah. Yeah, when the Pens sent Carlisle to the Jets, the tank was hard to deny. Yeah. Oh, they made a few trades that were just like, what are you doing? But yeah, Carlisle in his friggin' prime, eh? Well, let's trade him. Kevin McCarthy, Brian Maxwell. Well, yeah. They just they tagged big time that year. Crazy. Mark Taylor, Ron Flockhart. Flocky Hockey. Remember Ron Flockhart? He was quite the stick handler. I only know that Americans linked to Habs due to an old client of mine that was based in Rochester. Okay. No, I know. I was kidding about it. Reinbacher in the show. Yeah. Glenn Goldup passed a few years back. Yeah. A lot of them did. Ciccarelli. Can Rhino handle playing 3 games in 3 nights? Well, AHLers do it. Do it a couple of 2-3 times a year in the regular season. So, sure. No, I think he was traded from Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Flocky Hockey. Let me just 84, 85. He was with Pittsburgh and then got traded to Montreal, and then got traded from Montreal to St. Louis. So, was he part of the part of that trade for Perry Turnbull? What was that? Wickenheiser? Wickenheiser, Delorme, and Greg Puslowski for Perry Turnbull. Like, what the hell? Yeah. And Turnbull did next to nothing with the Habs. Yep. Those were the days. Kordic was a wild man. Yeah, he could fight. Good trade, though, getting Russ Cardinal for him. Flocky hockey. Yeah. Missed the game tonight, but my question is, how do amateur scouts keep up with the trends of the NHL game if they're constantly watching junior hockey on lower level leagues? Um, the trends. Well, they still, they still see after they scouted a game and they go to their hotel room. They you know what they do? They watch an NHL game or two. Like they see a lot of the Western Conference teams for sure. They still, they still see NHL hockey, but as far as keeping up with trends, like they're filled in too as to what's going on, but they have a pulse on the game. They but nothing changes as far as, hey, if you're big, can skate, can stick handle, can shoot, can compete, doesn't matter what the trends are in the games, you got a future spot in the NHL, right? If if you're smart, you can skate, you got some decent size, you're strong, you're competitive as hell, you can stick handle, and you can shoot the puck. Doesn't matter what trends are happening in the NHL, there's a spot for you, and probably a good spot for you on an NHL team. So, the game, there may be trends here and there, a little bit here and there, but that doesn't change. And just like, people think, oh, well, because of Quinn Hughes and Lane Hudson and, that there's a trend towards a small NHL defenseman. Well, last year, there wasn't a single defenseman under 6 feet taken in the top 2 rounds or something crazy, or in the whole draft. So, as much as we think that there's trends that happen, things kind of go in cycles, and it's not really, there's no discernible changes to the game. They still, NHL coaches and organizations still like size. They like skating ability. They like toughness. They like competitiveness. They like smarts. And that's not going to, that's never going to change, right? Grant, it's Mark Perot, your new friend from Tulsa via St. John, New Brunswick. Let's go, Doc, again. Hey, man. I know a couple of Mark Perots, but they're not from St. John. I grew up with a couple of Mike Perots and a Mark Perot, one from Petawawa, one from Braeside, Ontario. So, no panic, Yannick Perot over from the Leafs. Yeah. Grant, what was your take on Doc since you come back? Yeah. Hasn't got really rolling yet, but I've seen some things. I don't want a little more from him, but we'll give him a little bit of time here. Falsky wasn't that tall for Jersey. Not sure what your point is there, Jeff. Okay. Your Bud Mark, you're worried about by chance C from Montebello? No, it's Mark with the C. Mark, that's always on here. MARC. That's always in. No, I don't think he's from Montebello. All right. Well, look, folks, I gotta go try to get a couple things sorted out here. Nobody's been. I hope people are hitting the like button. Thank you, Sammy. 1027 for sending along a donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. If you're on your phone, apparently you have to close the chat to hit the Novid. Thank you for the $7, the 2 donations. Very much appreciated. Back in the day, Jay, appreciate the tuning, my friend. Don, as always, super generous. Thank you so much. Sammy, I know you had to go. Appreciate the $5, my friend. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Oh, Drum Dude showing up. Hopefully the boys will get the win tonight. Yeah. Hope the injury's doing okay. Cast off, all that stuff, Drum Dude. Yeah, no, it's not. No. Yeah. No, that wouldn't be same guy. All right. This you're healing up, eh? Okay, good to know. Thanks, everyone. So show tomorrow. I gotta get some sleep here because I gotta get up in the morning and do a show. Yeah, I've coke up. Do a show in the morning with Rick, and then a post game. So busy, another busy day on the Habs cast tomorrow or today. It's already tomorrow. All right. Hope to see you later on today for my 2 Habs casts, and hopefully the Habs bounce back. Looking forward to seeing Reinbacher in the lineup. Likely tomorrow. Really looking forward to that. Okay, everyone, have a fantastic rest of your night, and thanks for tuning in as always. You know what? Despite the loss, it was a great day to talk hockey. Bye for now.